진호야!
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Noonchi Reacts, where I react to some of your favorite K-drama scenes from a mental health perspective. Today, in honor of upcoming International Women's Day, I'm going to feature a really cool character, I think. Suji, well that's her name in this K-drama, because this is my first life. I want to share about how well I think she takes care of a confrontation with her boss. Let's talk our way through it, shall we?
박 대리님, 저랑 담배 한 대 피우시겠어요?
지금?
네.
It's pretty bold. Have a cigarette with me? Okay, that's her boss.
난 괜찮아.
So I just realized I didn't really set up the scene well, so let me do that better, okay? So did you notice I wanted to show that she kind of blocked her path? Did you notice that? He was about to walk and she blocked it. Pretty bold. He's made some sexual harassing comments with him and his colleagues. That's her boss. And she's taken it pretty well so far. She's a pretty strong-willed character, but she's pretty much the only female in that lead role. I would say she has some sort of leading role in that. Not a manager, but still, she works closely with these colleagues and her boss. So now she's kind of at her breaking point. So that's why she says, can you have a smoke with me? It's her way of, let's talk.
할 말이 뭔데?
제가 이 팀으로 온 게 15년도니까 대리님이랑 일한 지 벌써 3년이나 됐네요. 근무일수로 치면 800일이고 시간으로 치면 7,200시간이더라고요.
그래?
네. 근데 그 긴 시간들이 저한테는 대체로 끔찍했어요, 대리님.
끔찍?
네. 회식이 있는 날이면 오늘은 대리님 색드립을 또 어떻게 웃어야 할까? 휴가 다음 날이면 남친이랑 어디 갔다 왔어? 라고 묻겠지. 그럼 또 뭐라고 답할까? 몸이 안 좋은 날이면 또 그날이냐? 라고 하실까봐 아픈 척도 못했어요. 이렇게
Just pausing onto this point, do you notice that? I think it's funny. That's why you saw me laugh. She's like counting the years, the hours, the days she's worked with him. So apparently it's been pretty horrible, according to the word. Kumjik, which I think is pretty strong. Maybe disgusting is also a good word for that too. I'm not an expert, but clearly she's being very upfront and blunt and frank. This is why I like her delivery. Calm. Right? Almost a little bit like, you know, that calm, scary tone. I feel like something's coming. But anyways, I want you to understand that this is a good scene, I believe a good example of confronting something in the workplace. It's very difficult to confront your boss. And so she's doing this. It took a lot of courage, I want to point out. So again, in honor of International Women's Day, I want to point out women leadership or leaders and women leaders. And I feel like, and that's the theme this year, by the way. Here is a demonstration of leadership. That doesn't mean she is in leadership. You can show character traits of leadership. So let's go on and see what else she says.
대리님을 생각하면 끔찍하고 아픈 기억들밖에 없네요. 근데 7,200시간을 같이 일한 동료인데 너무 슬프지 않아요?
그래서 하고 싶은 말이 뭔데?
제가 그동안 받았던 상처들에 대해서 사과해 주세요.
뭐?
사과를 받아야겠어요, 제가. 대리님한테. 저희 팀 모두가 있는 자리에서 공식적으로 사과해 주세요.
사과?
저는 정말 대리님과 이 끔찍한 관계를 이제 끝내고 싶어요. 오늘 제가 제 진심을 담아서 이야기했으니까 대리님도 진심을 보여주세요. 기다리겠습니다.
Don't you feel like clapping after that? Super, super, super brave. It took a lot of courage. Yes, this can be done in the workplace. She said it calmly. She said some very strong words and she was pretty frank. Here's the bottom line. When you go in to confront, sorry to use that word, or to manage a conflict with an employee, fellow colleague, a manager, your boss, higher up, you want to be able to deliver it well. She showed some emotion. You could see it was controlled, but upset, right? Did you see her face? It was horrible working with you. It's terrible. And when she's saying, I want to end this connection, more like, I want to move on from this, is what I gather. But what I really like is the fact that she gave her ask. She said what she wanted. So folks, know what you want before you go into a conversation. I always say that. That's actually a solution-focused method in therapy. What's the end result you want to see happen? Don't go in there and just be like, I'm just going to say what I feel. That's not always effective. Yes, it's important to express that, but know that if he said, what do you want from me? Did you hear that? So what are you asking for? She said it. A public apology in front of the team. Will he do it? Let's check it out. So I'm going to fast forward a couple scenes so we can see what happens. But wow, what a powerful ask. That's why I felt like clapping. Very, very good example of a strong women leader. So they're all having hushik, the team dinners that they all do after work, celebratory dinner for the head honcho.
그리고 우리 사업 지원팀 식구들도 올 한해 너무 고생 많았습니다. 우리 존경하는 팀장님을 사랑하는 마음으로 내가 팀장님 하면 사랑합니다. 아셨죠? 아 맞다 사과. 부장님 미안해. 그동안 내가 너무 짓궂었지. 한잔 딱 하고 사귀자. 알았지? 자 팀장님 사랑합니다. 무슨 일 있으셨어요? 아니 아무 일 없었는데 뭐가 아우 살짝 튀겼어. 나 먼저 갈게.
Okay, let's pause it there. So let's just sum up that scene. She did ask for a public apology, and it was going well, looked like it, until he did the apology. Did you see her face? I mean, I had to point it out because it's kind of like, almost makes your heart drop for a second because it looked scary. Obviously, that was not the approach or the apology she wanted. It was actually very flippant. And I want to say degrading is the word that comes to mind. Now, again, if you haven't seen this drama, you're going to see a lot of what we would say sexual harassment in the workplace by him and his fellow male colleagues that she's endured. Remember, she said 3 years. Now, when you see that face, literally see it, like I'm going to kill you kind of thing. Let's see what happens next. So I'm going to fast forward maybe one scene and see what happens. But what I'm trying to get at is she gave him a chance. And let's see what happens afterwards. Now, I'm going to preface something. This is very important. You're wondering why this has to do with mental health. Well, let me tell you why. Workplace microaggressions, whether they're racial, sexist, they can be traumatic, especially over time when you're hearing the same thing. They can be very discouraging. They can have a huge impact on your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-identity at work. And this all relates, I'm going to be honest here, you won't see this necessarily here because this is a K-drama. The model minority is what we experience as Asian Americans here in the US. And the cultural norm is not to speak up. Let's just be dutiful, follow the rules. We're not supposed to ruffle feathers, rock the boat. Here, I'm going to say, because I do know what happens, she's about to rock the boat. And again, I'm going to say this clearly. You can rock the boat in a very effective way. But for the sake of your mental health, you can't stay silent when you're being harassed. And again, she's endured it for 3 years. Okay, so her boss goes back to work after the dinner, a little bit tipsy, and she's following him. She overheard all that. He's making all these sexual innuendos behind her back, which she overheard. This is previous scenes. So this is all replaying, okay? She's replaying this, getting triggered here.
응? 김대리, 왜 들어왔어?
해결해야 할 일이 좀 있어서요.
왜?
신호야!
End scene. Okay, this is a drama. So I do not want you to punch somebody out. Okay? Now, that's not literally what I'm saying here, but it's a funny drama. This is some comic relief, and she follows him, and the best reaction is, especially, did you notice? She went to Panmal, right? Basically, the honorific shifted. So instead of addressing him formally like boss or manager, she called him by his name. Right then and there, she was like, I'm going to show you the same disrespect, is what I'm thinking that's happening. And then she punched him. The bottom line is she's done, and she had the courage to speak up and gave him a chance. So let's just pause there. I wanted to show this scene because I thought it was funny that she ended up punching. Again, K-drama, gotta love how they portray stuff, but I don't want you to necessarily imitate that. So let's talk about why I think this is powerful. Women leaders have to work even harder to prove themselves. We talk about it now in 2021 all the time. And so I'm fine to bring it up. International Women's Day. It's all about honoring the success of women leaders, achievements of women leaders globally. So here in this K-drama, made in 2017, mind you, I thought it was great to feature someone like Suji, that's the character's name, and showing her path. So please watch it and see her character development, holding things in, having to deal with those sexual harassing comments, which she didn't report because the culture is different. And even here, people don't necessarily report that, right? You have to do your job. Maybe there's financial responsibility and you want to look good and have to follow. She held it in for 3 years, said it so calmly. Please watch that scene. Again, this is episode 14, about halfway in. How great is that? If you're feeling discouraged at work, why don't you watch the scene to encourage you, perhaps give you some guidance on the delivery and tone and method of approaching your manager. But again, don't necessarily punch your manager. I'm not asking you to burn bridges. That's the key here. But just see that and get the courage to do what you need to do at work, to defend yourself, to show yourself as a leader and have a voice. Thanks for watching with me. This was Noona's Noonchi Reacts. Please don't forget to subscribe to me. And we're going to be showing React videos every week along with deep dives.